Hello, everybody, and welcome to another free coaching video. I'll be your host, Vibe, and my mouse was down at the bottom, so it's dragged everything down, but it's okay. I have lots of casting experience, everybody. My voice is probably soothing to your ears. Don't fall asleep in this. Try to learn something. Today we have Masters, Zerg versus Terran. I will not be playing again this time. We have Tygo, who is a Masters Terran playing, versus Bjorn. I think I already said that. You can see I'm a great caster. I'm just thinking of bullshit to say nonstop. Anyways, though, for real, boys, for real. I hope you're not asleep yet. Today in this video, if you guys don't know how this works, I like to pick people from my stream, preferably subscribers, and I watch them play, and they're also the same league. These guys are both Masters League. I watch them play, and I watch from the Zerg's point of view, and basically I give everyone, including these guys, they can go back and watch the VOD later, but I give everyone like tips on what I think they could be doing better, things I like about their build that they're already doing that I think they're doing well. It's basically like, it's very similar to a coaching lesson you would get one-on-one with someone who's offering you coaching, but instead now, these guys are just getting it because, you know, they're in the stream, and I like them. They're subscribers. So anyways, he went 17 hatch, 17 gas, 17 pool. I like it. Sorry. It's good. It's fine. Wait, I think he went pool before gas. They're roughly around the same time. If you actually go gas before pool pretty well, you'll have 100 gas before the pool finishes. Kinda wasn't paying attention. I was being an ass. But I like that he's taking gas. That's the whole point. It's pretty much 17, 17, 17, either way around. Me personally, against Terran, I would really like for the Zerg to take 2 drones off of gas as soon as he gets 100 and leave 1 on, and then focus on trying to saturate 2 bases as fast as possible, and then taking a 3rd with that as well. That's how I prefer to play it, but you know, there are multiple styles, multiple ways you can play. That's actually how he's playing though, so I like it. This is how I personally like to play. I like the Overlord pathing. This first Overlord's kind of nice. A lot of Terrans like to send their first Marine out and around here if they go open up with a Marine. So this first Overlord's not really going to get caught by that. We have a Reaper. 6 Lings were made by... Sorry, I should have had the production open earlier. He made 6 Lings. Bjorn did. That's actually totally fine. I think 6 Lings is the max, though, that you should make if you're going to deal with the Reaper. Any more than that, and you kind of like set yourself behind because you're overcommitting to defense. Because you're not going to counterattack with these Lings, let's be real here. You're just going to be defending with them. 6 Lings is the max. If you don't feel confident with 2 or 4, 6 is the max that you should go. That I would deem worth it. Because if you make 6, you're guaranteed the fact that you're not going to lose any drones. 6 Lings gives you a lot of hit points to work with for a Reaper to waste the Reaper's time until your queens are out. I personally go with 2 because I'm fucking crazy and I'm greedy. Which means sometimes I have to micro my drones if the Reaper is good. But anyways, 2 to 6 is ideal. I would recommend 6 for newer players because it gives you an easier time. I also like the fact that he's making a 3rd queen. That's really important. What I like to do is actually... I like to make 2 queens in a row off of the hatchery, like off of whatever hatchery you're not going to make your lair. So I like to go up to 4 queens, but I don't make 4 queens all at once. I like to go up to 4 queens, but I go up to 2 immediately, and then 1 more, and then 1 more. If you make 4 at once, like if you make 2, then 2 more, it'll stall your larva timing, and I don't like stalling the larva, it's bad. I like that he's scouting here. He sees a starport and a tank. Already, right now, this is immediately what I would be thinking. Okay, I'm going up against Marine tank. And what's a good way to deal with Marine tank if it's really fast? One way you can deal with Marine tank really easily is honestly Zergling, Baneling, Queen. What I would be doing immediately, right now as Bjorn, is getting my creep out as far as I can this way. You really want your creep down the ramp and outside down here a little bit before he gets here. I do like the fact that he's spotting with a Ling here. That's actually really good. But I would also, I would also try to saturate my 3rd as fast as possible. Because this is not all in. So far what he's seen, it actually could be because he hasn't seen the natural. But you can actually saturate your 3 bases with minerals pretty quickly if this is like a 2 base timing. Because right now he knows he went 1-1-1, so it's not like there's 3 barracks and then a factory and a starport There's not like 3 factories. It's just 1-1-1. So like right now, it's actually just a tank drop. It's not actually a full move out. Which makes me think now the Terran's actually just going for Marine tank, and there's a 3rd command center somewhere in his base. Let's see if I'm right. There's no 3rd command center. He's actually going to do it all in after this. So this is up to our Zerg player here, Bjorn, to scout that. He needs like the Splatterling is good, but he needs to now not get too greedy. As the Zerg player, I would be assuming it's going to be 3 base, but you still have to scout. This is when scouting comes important. And look, he sees this actually is a command center going down now. That's actually really late. So now I would be thinking, okay, this dude's gonna fucking all in. He's gonna do a big timing probably. Once again, I like the creep. It's really good. Also, sometimes I do this style. It's not bad. He's going for the Zergling style of double evos and getting a later banding nest. That totally works because the trade-off he's doing is he's actually making more queens early because he's investing his whole economy into early minerals really quickly. He took all of his gases aside from the first one really late. You gotta be careful with little tanks. It's really not that big of a deal so far. He lost about like 3 larvae worth of Zerglings right there. It wasn't that big of a deal. I really do like also the fact that he's also making a macro hatch. That's really, really important. Whenever you go for it, whenever you're basing your strategy on a Zergling type build, you do not have enough larvae to spend your money, so you have to make a macro hatch. So I like the fact that he's making a macro hatch. And he's going into a Spire now. This is good. This build is not exactly how I usually do it, but I like it. He's actually playing it well. He's saturated his bases pretty well as well up to this point. He's going double upgrades still. He's going up to 2-2. I would love it. This is something really important. If he's going to stay on layer tech, I really want to see both hatchery upgrades come out right now, and that's Overlord Speed and Burrow. If he plans on going to Ultras, you can skip Burrow for now and go into an Infestation Pit instead with your gas, and then go for like really quick Hive, really quick 3-3, Adrenal Glands, Ultras, that kind of shit. But if he plans on like really powering up here and going for a Mutiling Bane composition for a while, he really should get Burrow. You should always get Burrow if you plan on doing that. It's really fucking important. You can win so many games just off Burrow. That hatchery just got injected like 12 times. This hatchery's gonna be popping larvae for days. Holy shit. But yeah, the one perk of his build, I would say, is definitely the fact that he gets good creep spread. The one weakness of his build, though, is if this Terran opened up 1-1-1 and did not go for tank drop, but instead went for Liberators. This build is weak against Liberators because he skipped Roachhorn. So if you like this style that you see right now, and you're like, oh, I kind of want to do this myself, you really always need to scout the Terran. And if you see 1-1-1, be prepared for the possibility of a Liberator and just make a fucking Roachhorn. That's the one thing in his build so far that I don't like, is that he skips Roachhorn. That's really risky. Everything else though looks fucking great. If you don't like Roachhorn, you can always also just make Spore Crawlers, which is what he's doing now. He's making static defense. But if the Terran's really YOLO and he invests into Liberator range, the Liberator will be out of Spore Crawler range and it'll still kill your drones. But at that point, Ravagers won't do anything either. It doesn't really matter. It's really your choice as the player. Do you want to micro a Spore Crawler around, or do you want to micro Ravagers? And it takes 3 Ravagers, by the way, to kill a Liberator. I like the fact that he didn't really commit too hard there. He was going to kill those Marines if he could, but he didn't overcommit. That's good. He also, just keep in mind, he didn't even have 2-2 at that point, but now he does. So this fight's going to go now so much better because he waited for like 10 seconds. And also the Terran's deeper on creep now on top of everything else, so he can get better trades for, you know, more distance. So that was really good. That was a really good pullback by Bjorn here. If he would have taken that fight a second ago, there's a chance he could have thrown most of his army away when it was 1-1 versus 1-1. And also the fact that the Terran could have kited off of creep. It would have been bad for well, honestly, it would have just been like counterproductive for him to take that fight the first time. So I like that he backed up. I also really like that he's scouting right now. And that's kind of cute right there, that he's shitting Contaminate on everything but Barracks tech. So that means there's going to be a small tank and medevac count now for a little while. That's good. That's it. That's a good use of what he has. He's making good use of his units. As Bjorn right now, I would love to see mutas, and I would love to see a hive. He's already starting a hive. That's good, and he's starting mutas. I like it. He's also saturating his fourth. That's actually really good too. The one thing I would not like is if he sends his whole army in and makes mutas at the same time. If he throws this army away, because he's not, if like, you know, it's like counterproductive. If he makes drones, but yet engages the army and loses his army, it's counterproductive. It's stupid. It's like not good for you to do that, because all you do is you set up the turn to make a counterattack. But he waited for a while. He didn't actually engage too early. He waited for a while, which is fine. I don't mind that he's engaging now, because he's already back into unit production up here, so it's not as bad. I don't like it when people engage against an enemy army as they're making drones, and then go, well, shit, I lost the fight because I wasn't full on making an army, and I made drones, and now I opened myself up to a counterattack. So yeah, I like the fact that Bjorn waited. He started making drones for this base over here and resaturating all the bases that had any undersaturation at all, because he made some static defense. But he waited, he pulled back, and he waited for like another 30 seconds until he had another round of injects pop off, and then and then on top of that, the Terran committed down the ramp, and then he went for it. So good play overall by Bjorn here, to play reactively with his style here. And again, I like the biggest thing that I like, that I can give you guys a tip on, is I like the fact that he didn't take too many gas too quickly. He focused on taking a third, and he focused on saturating 3 bases with queens early, which is really good because the queens can deal with all types of small pressure. They can actually deal with Liberator when it's like one Liberator harassing. You can have like 3 or 4 queens kill Liberator. So you know what? I take it back. I take back what I said about the Roach Warren or the Spore Crawlers having to be a prerequisite here. The only thing I would have said was if he scouted a tech lab on the starport, he should have made Spore Crawlers, because then there's a possibility of Banshees. But I take back what I said about needing Ravagers or Spores to deal with Liberators, because he did go up to like 6 Queen. And 6 Queen can easily deal with like a Liberator that's camping your mineral line before it has range. So that's fine. His build's actually totally fine. The fact that he makes more Queens is good. But he goes heavy minerals, which means he makes more Queens, and he also gets more money to make more drones to make more money overall. It's really, it's just a really strong type of opener, I feel. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best of all time, because there's a lot of options. There's a lot of things Terran can do. There's a lot of things Zerg can do. This is just like a strong macro opener that has later metas. I also like that he focuses on double upgrades rather than getting like a really fast Spire when he goes Queen heavy. If you go really Queen heavy and then you like rush a layer and save all your gas for metas, you actually open yourself up, in my opinion, to timings in the early game, to like Marine timings or medevac timings or some shit like that. Your Zerglings won't be as durable and deal as much damage as they could otherwise do. So I like that he doesn't really emphasize too much on the Spire right away, and instead he focuses on heavy upgraded Zerglings and a Baneling Nest. That's actually really good. And then beyond the harass point of the game, the Queens now just focus on creep spreading, so it really like expands his creep. It like gives it a boost, because he can make, instead of making like 1 tumor every few seconds or every like 20 seconds, he can make like 3 creep tumors every like 20 seconds. So it really like expands his creep really fast in like every direction. So overall, it's a good build, man. It's a good build. You like the build you chose, you executed it well. I'll say that right now. There's some ways you could make this build suck if you execute it poorly, like you choose the wrong thing, but he executed it well. The biggest things are, one more time, for anyone who's kind of lost right now, be like, what the fuck do you mean by so much info? Tell me something basic. If you want to do a build like this, there are 3 things you need to, that are like the #1 most important thing. #1, focus on your minerals. Don't take more than 1 gas early, okay? You should focus on getting your Zergling speed first, like with 17, 17, 17, so you don't die to like a Reaper all-in or something. But as soon as you have Zergling speed, take 2 of your drones off gas and start fully saturating your natural. Once you've fully saturated your natural, you should already have a 3rd going up, and then you after you have like 40 drones or like 30 drones, you have like fully saturated main, fully saturated natural, and you're ready to start fully saturating your third, you can take another gas and you can fully saturate your main gas again. And that's when you can throw down your double evos and go into upgrades. So that's step 1. It's called economy management. Focus on the minerals before the gas. Step 2, don't forget to make your queens while you're doing this. Like, make more than just what you need to inject. He went up to like 6 queens, and that's also what I agree with. I think he should go up to like 6 or even 7 queens off this build, because you want at least one hatchery having a queen in the beginning, so you're not missing out on injects, but you also need the safety net of your queens to defend against Banshee, Liberator, Hellion, and Medevac drops. All the types of aggression Terran could do, other than Reaper, because you already know he's not Reapering you from the beginning of the game, because he didn't all-in you early enough. All the types of aggression Terran can do beyond that point, and also tank drop. All the types of Terran aggression can be defended by Heavy Queen when they're in small amounts. So you really, with this style, you need Heavy Queen to actually defend your drones. And then step 3, boys, prioritize your Evo and your Baling Nest with your gas before your Spire. So don't like save a bunch of gas and go, time to go fucking 12 mutas, boys, 12 mutas, here we go. Mutas come later. You prioritize your gas and your upgrades for sure on your Ling Bane, because that's what's going to keep you alive going into the mid game. And also, I forgot, always make a macro hatch. As soon as you're fully saturated on 3 bases, make a macro hatch, and you're fucking solid. All right, so that's gonna be the end of the video, guys. Hopefully you guys liked it. This is an interesting, cool style. You guys can do against Terran if you you don't like your current one. Maybe this is a style you prefer about how to go into Mutaling Bane. Some people prefer things like going 2 base Muta into Mutaling Bane. Some people prefer other ways like this. So this is just one way you could do it, and I hope I hit the key points for you to tell you to do it. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Into the video. Bye. See you. Mineral field depleted.